All right, let's dive right into something a lot of you have been asking about, and it's a deep dive into what women find attractive about older men.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And to be clear, right up front, you know us by now, we like to go deeper. So this is not about trying to like turn back the clock or fit some kind of, stereotype.
Yeah, none of that.
We're going way deeper than that.
Yeah.
So this all started because
Okay.
we came across this article called First 7 Things Women Notice When They Find an Older Man HRT.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because, even just reading the title is like, all right, let's see what they got.
Right. Like, is this going to be surface level or is there going to be some actual, depth?
Exactly.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I was very pleasantly surprised because it really does go beyond just the superficial. It's about way more than just looks, which is something that I think we can all appreciate.
Yeah, because let's be honest, attraction, it really is about like this complex interplay of different factors, right? And this article, I think it does a good job of highlighting some of those less obvious, more subtle cues that, can make someone attractive. And it's not just for older men, by the way. I think these are things that really anyone can benefit from understanding.
I agree, and that's actually something that I was thinking about as I was reading this too. It's like, yeah, it's targeted towards, this idea of what women find attractive in older men, but ultimately it's really about embodying confidence and experience.
Yes.
And just a life well lived, which I think are attractive qualities, really, in anyone, regardless of your age or who you're trying to attract, really.
It's funny how these kinds of like niche topics, when you really break them down, they reveal all these like universal truths about, human nature and how we connect with each other.
Exactly, and that's what we're here for,
Yeah,
to break it down.
break it all down.
So the article starts off, and this is their first point, and they really hammered this home: posture. They talk about, standing tall, owning your space, and you know what, it got me thinking, because it's so true. How often do we just let ourselves like slump?
Right, yeah.
Almost like we're trying to shrink away.
You're right, and it's almost instinctive, isn't it? To
Yeah.
like, when you're feeling a little insecure, you're unsure of yourself, you kind of like, turtle up a little bit.
Right, yeah.
But think about it from like, I don't know, almost an evolutionary perspective.
Right.
Good posture, standing tall, it's not just about vanity, right?
Right.
It's been like hardwired into us. I mean, think about it. Across the animal kingdom, an upright stance, it signals health, vitality,
That's so true. Yeah.
even a degree of dominance, right? So it's no wonder that on some level we're drawn to that in other people.
Right.
It's like our ancient brains are recognizing a strong, capable individual.
It's like this primal instinct almost that
Yeah.
we're not even aware of.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Okay.
So the next point, this one's a little bit of a curveball
Scent.
Okay.
And the article straight up says, if a man smells terribly bad, how can she lie down with him?
Okay, well, they're not wrong.
No, they're not wrong.
But it's funny because it's like, yeah, hygiene, obviously.
Like, of course, yeah.
But it's so much more than that.
Right.
Right. Scent is primal.
Okay.
Like, it bypasses all of our logical filters and it taps directly into, like, the emotional centers of our brain.
Interesting.
Think about it. Like, a familiar smell can transport you back to, like, childhood in an instant.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's true.
So, I mean, when you think about it that way, a man who's, like, found his signature scent, that can be incredibly attractive because it's creating this, like, almost subconscious sense of allure and recognition.
I like that signature scent. That's good. Okay, so they really honed in on the eyes next. They say women are captivated by like the depth and intensity that they see in an older man's gaze. I mean, it makes sense if you think about like the power of eye contact, right? It's one of the most like intimate forms of nonverbal communication we have as humans. Like you can tell so much
Oh, yeah.
just from like how someone's looking at you or not looking at you.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like maintaining steady eye contact, especially in like today's world,
So distracting.
it's so distracting. Our phones and everything, right? If you can just like be present with someone and maintain that eye contact, it signals so much. It's like, I'm here, I'm
Yeah.
engaged,
Right.
I'm genuinely interested in you.
Yeah.
And it builds a level of trust that like fleeting glances just can't match.
It shows confidence, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And compare that to like someone who avoids eye contact, right? Immediately, red flag.
It's like, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
Are they being dishonest? Are they insecure?
Yeah.
Like, our instincts pick up on those things instantly.
Okay.
Right.
And now for the topic that I bet at least some of you have been waiting for.
Hair.
Hair. All right, let's talk about it.
And, I think a lot of, guys, as they get older, it's like, oh no, the hair.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's going. What do I do? Do I fight it? This article basically says, own it.
Own it.
They actually use Bruce Willis
Yes.
as an example of absolutely owning the bald look, which I love.
Oh, icon.
Right.
Like Bruce Willis, he exudes this confidence,
Yeah.
and it's like he doesn't care, and the not caring makes him all the more attractive,
Yes.
And it's challenging those outdated notions of what's considered attractive.
Right, exactly.
Because our ideas about, what's considered quote unquote attractive, they're so often shaped by these societal norms
Yeah.
and cultural standards. And it's so interesting to zoom out and look at how those things differ. What's considered attractive, in one culture might be seen as completely different in another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And it just goes to show that true attractiveness, it really is about so much more than just these, superficial physical traits.
Right.
It's about the energy you exude.
Right.
It's about the confidence. It's about, just owning who you are.
It's about how you feel about yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that comes through way more than just, whether or not you have a full head of hair.
It's so true.
You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
Bruce Willis, he could have the most amazing hair in the world, but if he wasn't confident,
Right.
if he didn't own it,
Right.
it
right.
wouldn't matter.
Right. Exactly. It's that energy. You're right. Okay, so I'm completely with them on the hair. I think that's great advice.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Own it. Whatever you got, own it.
Okay, this next one I'm going to say really resonated with me. Maybe because it's something I'm still working on myself,
Okay. All right.
but it's the power of the voice.
Oh, interesting.
And they talk about this kind of classic silver fox tone.
Yeah.
Deep, calm, kind of. It's like they want us all to be narrating audiobooks or something.
Right. Yeah. That kind of voice that you want to listen to
Yes.
for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, right?
Yeah.
The voices that we find ourselves drawn to, whether it's, a charismatic speaker or even just someone you enjoy having a conversation with, it's it goes beyond the words themselves.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
It's the underlying message that our voices are conveying.
Mhm.
And there's actually studies have shown this, that a deeper voice tends to be associated with authority and leadership. It's we instinctively trust those deeper tones.
I believe it.
Even if we don't consciously realize it, it's oh, that person sounds like they know what they're talking about.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so this next one, I have to admit, I laughed out loud when I read it. But it also made me take a long, hard look in the mirror.
Oh, no. Okay.
And it's dressing well.
Okay.
This article basically says, look, you don't need to be James Bond,
Sure.
but putting some effort into your wardrobe, it goes a long way.
See, and I really like that they phrased it that way,
Yeah.
because it's not about having to wear a tuxedo every day.
Wait, you don't have to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe.
Exactly.
Just make an effort.
Yeah, it's sending the right signals.
Yes.
Right. It's this thing, I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's what they call effort signaling.
Oh, interesting.
So think about it. Whether it's clothes, a well-maintained car, even just a clean and organized living space,
Yeah.
it shows that you take pride in yourself
Right.
and in your surroundings.
Yeah.
And that in itself is attractive.
Right. It shows you care.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
So true.
So I guess presentation, in a way, it does matter.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Okay, all right. Last but certainly not least, they talk about, this one's so important, I think, the power of a genuine smile.
Oh, a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with a good smile.
I know, the article actually calls it disarming.
Yeah.
And it says that it can create this instant connection.
It's true. And I mean, think about it. When you see someone and they've got that genuine smile,
Yeah.
you can't help but smile back, right?
It's contagious.
It's totally contagious, and there's actual science behind that.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psychologists call it the halo effect.
Here.
So basically, when you see someone smiling, especially a genuine smile, it triggers this like unconscious bias where you perceive them as more trustworthy, more competent, even more attractive.
Wow.
Regardless of whether those perceptions are like objectively true or not.
Really?
It's like our brains are wired to associate smiling with positive qualities.
Interesting. So it's like this shortcut in our brains.
Like, oh, they're smiling. They must be a good person.
Right, yeah. Interesting. I like that. It's why, right, going through all these things, all these like 7 things, it really struck me that, it's not just about like what makes, quote unquote, older men attractive,
Right.
It's about like these timeless qualities
Yes.
that I think we're all drawn to, regardless of age.
Totally. Think about like the people in your life who you find like truly magnetic.
Yeah.
The ones who just like light up a room when they walk in. It's rarely about like superficial stuff, right?
Right.
It's the way they carry themselves, the energy they exude,
Yeah.
that like quiet confidence that just like draws you in.
It's like that saying, like, confidence is silent, insecurity is loud.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
It's so true.
100%. And the best part is like these are all things that we can cultivate within ourselves.
Right.
It's not about like chasing some like fleeting ideal of like youth or, trying to be someone you're not. It's about like investing in yourself.
Yes.
Becoming the most like authentic
Yes.
and engaging version of who you are.
Love that.
Right.
I love that. It's funny because like we started off talking about this article. It's like what women find attractive.
Yes.
But I feel like we've uncovered like this secret roadmap for like personal growth.
It's true. It's like these principles apply like across the board.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just about romantic relationships. It's about like all your relationships, how you present yourself in the world.
Yeah, just being your best self, really.
100%.
And I think that's a good place to kind of maybe wrap things up.
Okay. Yeah.
So to everyone listening, if you're looking to kind of, I don't know, up your game, make a lasting impression, remember, it's not about turning back the clock.
Right.
It's about putting your best self forward.
Yep.
And as we learned today, a lot of that comes down to, those nonverbal cues, the way you carry yourself, and that inner confidence.
Yes.
So cultivate that inner confidence, pay attention to those nonverbal cues, and most importantly, let your genuine self shine through.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Until next time.